If you're around 18 to 22 years old, whether you're graduating high school, starting college, or just beginning your career, you're about to make a handful of decisions that can impact your life for years to come. Some of those decisions will quietly work in your favor, others can set you back much longer than you expect. The tricky part is that almost none of them feel like mistakes when you're making them, or the act of not doing something may be the mistake itself. I'm 23 years old. I definitely don't have life entirely figured out, but over the past few years, I've made enough good and bad decisions that I think I can save some people from making the same mistakes I did. So in this video, I want to share the 5 biggest mistakes I think young adults should avoid, based on my own experiences and the experiences of people around me. First thing I want to hit on is to stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for ways to get rich quick, skip the system, skip time, all of that things. Some of these ways do exist, but a lot of them are scams, and you're just most likely going to lose more money than you end up making in the long run.
And now the mark. Oh! It went to 0! Yeah!
If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. This goes for things like sports betting, gambling, a lot of these stupid cryptocurrencies, all of these little things. If some guy is selling you a course on how to get rich, it probably is also, that's the main way he's getting rich, is by selling the course. If he really had some secret money-making method, he would just be doing it himself. He wouldn't be selling the knowledge to other people. A really big one that I have some personal experience with in this area is crypto stuff. I didn't do too much of it, but I did enough when I was a freshman in college to learn firsthand that a lot of it is not legit. A lot of them are scams, especially some of these more sketchy meme coins, things like that. The worst part is I feel like a lot of people know these are scams, and they think that they can be the one that will get out quick enough right at the beginning before the coin dumps its value, and that they'll be the ones making the money, but that's what the people running the coin want you to think. And if everybody believes that, then a lot of people buy in, and that's how the people that make the coin make their money. So don't be a fool falling for something like this and losing all of your money, because that is most likely what is going to happen, and there are much better ways to actually earn money and grow your money. It's 100% possible to get rich through investing and to really build up your worth, but it just takes time, and you have to be smart about it. And if you try to skip and do it really quickly, it most likely won't work out in your favor. Another big part of this is people selling courses, like all these gurus of how to day trade or how to get money, how to get rich doing this or that, or with crypto or with stocks or any of this stuff. A lot of these things, if they actually had a method for getting rich, they would just be doing it. They wouldn't be wasting their time making a course and selling it to other people. They don't actually want to help you get more money. They just want to get your money into their pocket. That's not to say that all courses are bad. There's a lot of people that actually do sell really good quality educational content online, can help develop your skills, but that's not these types of people. You can often tell the difference between a legit course and a fake one. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Another really big component of this is sports betting or any kind of gambling, but especially now sports betting, and we have all these things like Kalshi and Polymarket, all these event contract traders, which is just another name for gambling. It's okay if you just do occasional gambling or something like that as a hobby or for fun, as long as it's with money that you've already safely budgeted out and you're okay with just losing that little bit and you don't go beyond that. But one of the worst things you can probably do in your life is develop a gambling addiction, which is what a lot of these platforms are designed to do, because they make more money if you get addicted to losing your money. So just stay away from it unless you have really good self-control and really good control over how much you're going to spend on it at one time. And a big reason you want to stay away from all of these things is because mainly they're just going to lose you money, but a lot of them can get you addicted or get you in a bad habit of thinking that if you just do it again, you'll be lucky this time and earn it all back. And that's almost never how it will happen. That is how they're designed to do, is just keep you thinking that you're going to eventually win it all back and then finally profit or just break even. And that's how these people get stuck doing this forever and really messing up their lives. So just stay away from it if at all possible. I cannot tell you how many people I knew in college that claimed they weren't addicted to sports betting, but did it all the time, especially because it started to become legal and it's on your phone now, and it's so easy, much easier than ever to start doing these things and get addicted to it. So just stay away from it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You're going to lose. Next thing I want to go into is borrowing money carefully and being careful what kind of debt you're going into. A big part of this is student loan debt, especially really big student loan debt. And I'm not saying that college is bad. I actually think college is a really good investment, even though lots of people say it's a scam, if you do it right. And doing it wrong is going out of state or to a really expensive private school to get a degree if you are not 100% sure you'll be able to be making enough money with that degree to pay the debt off quickly. It is so much more affordable to just go to a good in-state college and pay in-state tuition than it is to go out of state or to go to a private school in your state or out of state. Like, I was only paying a couple $1,000s a semester in tuition, and I had a couple scholarships as well as a part-time job in college, so that I actually ended up leaving college with over 5 figures invested and saved. Right now, just a year after I've graduated, I almost have $50,000 in my portfolio just building money for me. But I know people that went to expensive private schools, either in the state or out of state, that are almost 30 that are still 5 figures in debt. And I'm not talking like low 5 figures, like, oh, they still have $20,000 worth of debt left. I mean, they're almost 30 years old, or they're over 30 years old, and they're still over $90,000 in student loan debt. Like, a significant portion of their monthly paycheck goes to just trying to pay down their debt. And they can't even start to build any investments or build their net worth because they have this high interest debt just dragging them down. Like, I am 6 or 7 years younger than them, been at the job I'm at for a little over a year now, and I have over $100,000 higher of a net worth when you take into account that their debt makes their net worth negative. So if you just go to a good in-state school, pay that low tuition, get a part-time job if you can manage it while you're in school, get some quick, easy scholarships that can help make your tuition even lower, you can graduate from college in a really good financial position, much better than your peers. Now, having just talked about that kind of debt you don't want to go into, that doesn't mean that you don't want to go into debt entirely or don't want to have any debt at all. And this is sort of a mistake I made because I knew that going into debt, that kind of bad debt, was a pretty bad thing and could really set you up. I was scared of just getting any debt at all while I was in college. And then earlier this year, I was buying a used car because my old car died and it was time to get a new one. And I had to finance part of it. Because I've never borrowed money before getting this car, my monthly payment is a couple of percentage points higher than it would have been if I had been having a credit score build up throughout college. So I would recommend is just getting a super low credit limit, cheap credit card that you can just use to just pay for things you already pay for, and then have it automatically set up to pay itself off at the end of the month from your paycheck or your bank account or something. Because if you can start building that credit history early, by the time you actually need it to make a big purchase, your payment was going to be lower because you have a credit score and you have a credit history built up. But the big important thing is that you just have to make sure you're always paying it off and you're always staying on top of it. Because credit card debt is something that can really get you in trouble too. So don't go crazy on it. Just spend as much as you would normally spend and then make sure you just pay it off at the end of every month. And you can be at a really good position for any big purchases you'll eventually need to make. I wish I had done that because I would have been saving probably $100 or $200 on this monthly payment. Next thing sounds kind of corny, but never really stop learning. Like, always be trying to learn new things. If you're in college, don't just stick to what they teach you in your degree program. It's just all the things you're going to focus on learning. Like, learn some skills outside of that. Even if you don't go to college, if you're just starting a professional career, there's going to be skills you need for your job. Don't just focus on learning those skills. Spread out, learn other skills that'll be useful. There's a lot of skills they don't teach you in job training or in college that are very useful in almost every job or in finding new jobs. This could be things like interpersonal skills, your ability to talk to people and be funny, other more niche skills like video editing, content creation, writing, piloting drones, doing marketing, all these types of skills that may not be directly relevant to your job, but can open up new opportunities for you in the future. These skills will also set you apart from people that you are competing with in the job market or in your professional job for promotions and such. They'll give you more options as well. Because when you start to get really good at these skills, eventually it's something that you can charge for on your own, and then you're not fully dependent on your main job as a way to get money. You can start building up side income streams. And if you don't take the time to ever learn any of these new skills, you're never going to develop that advantage. And the earlier you start, the better these skills you'll be at these skills when you eventually need them, and the sooner you'll be able to start taking advantage of them. Many of these skills will just help making a job be easier too. If you get better at talking to people, then you'll be better at interviews. You'll be better at meetings and presentations you have to give at whatever your job is. You'll be better at talking to recruiters or people that are looking for new people to hire. If you can get better at impressing people and expressing yourself, it'll make everything else way easier. So if there's any skill to focus on, really make it interpersonal skills and presentation skills, speaking skills, being funny, things like that. That overall does kind of lead into my next point really well, which is to choose the people you're being friends with carefully and try to build a really big, strong professional friends network. There's a big thing, especially if you live in the United States, but a lot of countries just around the world, where who you know is often more important than what you know, especially when it comes to jobs and things. You can skip the line in a lot of the job searches and interview processes. If you know people that work at the company and they're trusted at that company, you can get referrals, which often puts you to the top of the resume stack. And as I'm sure you know, the current job market is crazy. It's really hard to get a good job. It's really hard to compete with the hundreds of people that instantly apply for any job posting. So if you know people and you can get these referrals, then that can definitely give you a huge advantage. And that's something you can take the time to build up, or you cannot take the time to build up. And that's a huge mistake if you don't take the time to build this up earlier in your career or if you're in college. And also just the people you surround yourself with too. You want to always be surrounding yourself with people that are also ambitious and also wanting to learn new things. Because if everyone around you in your main social circle are people that are constantly trying to improve themselves and learn things, you're going to naturally start wanting to do it too, just to fit in with everybody else. Because social pressure and peer pressure is a real thing, and you can make it a good thing by surrounding yourself with people that are high achieving and want to improve themselves. This is one of the biggest advantages you can get from college. It's one of the biggest sources of value that you can get from going through a college program. Not just what you learn in class, because a lot of it you may already know, or it may be easy, or it may not be something you're going to use. But the people you're in class with or in social groups with in college, you will be one of the biggest assets you get out of going to college. So definitely take advantage of that. If you ever go on like a job or a career Reddit page or forum or anything like that, you'll often see people that have amazing resumes. They went to these good schools. They're really good on paper at fitting in for a job, but they can't find any work. And you're like, how is this possible? If this amazing candidate can't find any work, I'm certainly not going to be able to. It's because I almost guarantee you these people did nothing when they were in school except for working on getting their degree and then just learning the skills they need for whatever job. And that's not all you need nowadays. You need other things like people, knowing people, having these additional skills, all these things I've been talking about. You need things that will set you apart. And a lot of these people don't have them, but you can be one of the people that does have them if you make good friends that can be references, and then you can be references to them in the future. Build a good network of friends where you can help each other out in this really difficult time we're living in. You can have such a bigger advantage. And I know a lot of people that didn't really do that, and they're struggling right now, and the people that did have a tight friend network are doing much better. So don't make the mistake of not doing any socializing and building a good friend group while you're in college or early in your career, because it could make things a lot harder for you if you're just alone later in your life. So going through all these things in this video, I've noticed a lot of interesting things. Every single one of these decisions is something that can compound. Like bad financial decisions early compound against you by making it just harder and harder to get in a good financial situation. Good financial decisions compound for you. Like if you start investing early and you start building up that money early and saving it early because you didn't get scammed on a crypto thing or you didn't go into crazy amounts of debt, you can set yourself up to be in a really good place really early in your life. Skills that you start to develop early can compound as you get a little bit older. You'll be much better than you were before. And every time you get a little bit better, it compounds. Relationships compound. So if you're friends with a group of people, that expands your network. You'll start to be friends with more people, which helps you with so many different professional opportunities. Like even your reputation compounds. Like if you're nice to people, people will start to learn that you're a nice person, that you're a good person, that you're someone that you want to be friends with, and it'll just make it easier for you as you go. So none of these things may immediately change your life overnight, but in 5 or 10 years, or just a couple years when you graduate, or a couple years into your career if you didn't go to college, the difference will be enormous. So that's why I think if you start doing these in your late teens and early 20s, that's probably the most important years of your life if you can do the right things, because it gives you such a big advantage for the rest of your life. You're literally laying the foundation for everything that comes after. If you enjoy the content in this video, I'm planning on making another one soon about why I think compounding is one of the most important decisions, like really go in depth on that. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then consider subscribing and you'll catch it when I release it. One of the things I realized also while making this video is that avoiding these mistakes isn't usually a knowledge problem. A lot of people kind of know what you should be doing. Like, people know you shouldn't gamble. People know you shouldn't take on a crazy amount of debt. People know that you should learn new skills. The hard part is actually making the good decisions consistently. And a big thing that gets in a lot of people's way is their emotions. Their emotions is what stops them from actually making the good decisions. And that's what one of my earlier videos was about, is some techniques that I use and that you can start to use as well to help control your emotions and make your decision making a lot better. So if you're interested, I'll link it in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.